So what will happen when you mix Iron-Blooded Orphans, Zeta Gundam and Gundam 00? Let's find out in the review. Hello my friends, I hope you feel happy. Today I'm checking the newest addition to the Gunpla lineup, Typhoeus Gundam Chimera. I must say that there is a lot going on here, so I divided this review into 3 sections. I will check out the unit itself first, then the KUTAN Twin Dragon type battleship, and finally, the absolute monster piece of a Gunpla, Typhoeus in a Chimera form. Take your time and enjoy! So basically I was not a big fan of the Gundam Build series. I've never watched any anime from the series, but I like the concept of it. The lighter and the Gunpla focused plot is something different, and showcasing our beloved hobby in this idea suits me well, I must say. I've checked the newest series, Gundam Build Metaverse. It is a 3 episode long only, so it is more of a promotional material for the Gunpla lineup and fan service for a 10th anniversary of Build series than a regular anime that we used to. You can check it entirely on the Gundam Info channel here on YouTube. Gundam Metaverse itself is a project from Bandai Namco to bring all Gundam and Gunpla fanatics to a virtual world, creating a community and fun time. I have not tried it and I don't have much interest in it, to be honest, but from what I can tell, people don't like it as much as Bandai expected to. So okay, now let's focus on the Gunpla. This is a custom Gundam mix between 3 series, Gundam 00, Gundam Zeta/Double Zeta and Iron-Blooded Orphans. So basically the Typhoeus unit is based on Raphael Gundam from Gundam 00 movie Awakening of the Trailblazer. I must say that the 00 build incarnations are my faves. Can't wait to finish the Gundam 00 Diver arc. The name Typhoeus refers to Greek mythology. It was a big serpentine monster, son of a Gaia and Tartarus, defeated by Zeus and buried underneath Mount Etna. Arms are from the Psycho Gundam Mark II parts, and here is the interesting thing. Inside we have runners from it, so for a fact we can expect release of the Psycho G Mark II yeehaw! In the future, and as we may also expect and predict, Bandai for sure, but I still hope for a regular release of it, and I can't wait for the announcement. On top of that, rest of the parts came from the KUTAN Type 3, the Iron-Blooded Orphans long distance transport booster. I love this mix. You can also do some nice tricks here that manual will not show you, and I will talk about the hidden features in just a moment. So the build itself was a little boring experience, I must admit. I mean, it was almost like a master grade in terms of how much you need to snap, but overall it is very straightforward. On board we will find 23 runners, and when you open the box you will think, oh gosh, there is a lot going on here. But it's just an illusion really. Build is very fast and easy, but in consequence we do not have any excitement here in this term, I must admit. It took me around 6 hours, and the Typhoeus was like an entry grade build really. I was a little afraid of the gold parts, but they are very nice. In person they present themselves perfect and better than on the promotional photos. When you add a little grey Gundam marker to the gold parts, fantastic. Manual is as always perfect and simple, nice addition that they will show you all runners you need for each section of build. Of course you have some trivia about the model itself, nothing more to talk about it. So yeah, we have some cutting to do here. We have color correcting stickers on board. In the chest you can use the silver sticker for some reflecting under the clear green part. The black stickers on the chest look okay. And you have round stickers for the Psycho Mark II arms, but I will not use them. I prefer the appearance without them. Majority of stickers goes for the waist section and more specifically the skirts. They also are okay. We have a nice clear part in the head, but under there is a red plastic, so you can't do much about it. You can paint the red plastic with some metallics and add black filling around the eyes, but the sticker looks okay. You also will find clear plastic in the head camera, and it looks good without the sticker, so I will leave it like this. Within has molds to prevent hurting younglings, but I will cut them to gain a better look. And probably there will be some ugly white markings after the cut. And yeah, you can use some gold paint with no problem, or just leave that if it does not bother you. And I must admit, I love the look of the head overall. So yeah, the build was simple and quick if it comes to the Typhoeus itself, very like an entry grade experience or some old high grade. I did not assemble the original Raphael, so I can't compare it, but probably the same experience here. Also, in the waist section you need to be careful when attaching the side skirts. Pegs on ball joints are very fragile, so you can break them easily. As you can see, construction of the main unit is very simple. Inside we have just empty space and it feels cheap and simple, yes. But overall this is not our main dinner here. After assembly the unit presented itself very well. I like the balance here, but there are a lot of knob marks on board. I mean like really a lot. So you need to do some cleaning. If it comes to the KUTAN armor, the experience is almost the same. It is a little more complicated and the build is by far nicer, I will say, but still simplicity wins here. And it's not a bad thing, of course, so yeah, the build was okay, but nothing that I will dream of days later. On board we have some leftovers from Raphael Gundam and the KUTAN 3. Parts from KUTAN are unfortunately just spare parts, so you can't do much with them, but they will be a great pieces for some kit bashing and custom work. We also have katana blade from Barbatos high grade on board, but without the handle. And the great thing here is that you have some parts from Raphael that you can actually use to change the appearance. So we have full head of Raphael. It looks plain because of all black plastic, but still you can paint the eyes and you are good to go. We have all the waist and skirts parts that you can exchange easily. Shoulder armors, it looks nice in this form, I must admit, so for sure I will use it later on some shots. Knee armor parts and the chest armor. The rest will not fit at all, so yeah. Still a nice addition to the package for those who like to play with appearance. So as a bonus, basically what manual will not tell you. You can attach your high-grade Beam Saber's effect parts to the fingers of Psycho Gundam Mark II, and now this looks just over the top deadly. You can simulate original state of the KUTAN 3 form like this. You can manage to attach other Gunplas to the whole armor section. They do not fit perfectly, but still you can try. In the KUTAN Twin Dragon form you can also use the wired parts with no problem. Okay, so now let's check the main unit first. I like this design. Bug-like vibe is very cool. Colors here are a little too saturated for me, to be honest, I mean the red specifically. Plastic overall is very shiny. We have an inner frame in grey and most of the armor parts are black. The gold plastic parts looks really good on this one and I dig it very much. But I'm not entirely a fan of this color scheme, but both in animation and on the plastic counterpart it presents itself very good. It's just like too glossy and feels little plasticky for me. If you have the same feeling, you can just use some matte top coat and I think it will look 10 times better. The same goes for the KUTAN armor, of course. What I like here the most is the overall shape. It is not a standard blocky Gundam, it is very unique in these terms and I love edgy shapes here. For some, overall this unit can be on the cheap side because of the plastic quality, but I can assure you that in person it looks alright. High heels are fantastic, the presence is very badass and I love this big over-the-top within. We don't have any crazy details on board, just a nicely looking kit. Of course, all the green parts will glow under some black light. So in terms of accessories, we have one piece from Rafael and the rest is straight from the Twin Dragon. But let's start small. We have this very well known from the high-grade Rafael GN beam rifle on board, and here is the thing. Yes, it is simple, but must admit that I like the look, but the handle is a tasteless joke. You need to watch it if it sits in the hand, because just look at this. It is loose as hell. I've tried to put it on the small gap in the hands, but no. You need to press it entirely and just don't touch it. Just don't touch it. I don't like this aspect. After some top coat it should be better, but be aware of that anyway. While not in use, you can hide it on the back of Chimera form. So some parts from the KUTAN Twin Dragon type can be used here freely. First of all, the leg parts can be used as a dragon head, shield, / big ass cannons. You have those adapters to attach them to the arms, both left and right side, with 2 attachment spots. On the model this looks extremely good. Unfortunately, parts from Twin Dragon are not entirely perfect, but we'll talk about them more in the next section. You can open these parts and add some dynamics, looks really good. And as you can see, we have those reflector bits here, the same that Psycho Gundam Mark II used. You can detach them and put them on display nicely. You have both closed and open form to play with. And with both shields attached, this one can bring some really deadly appearance and I am a fan of this look. Also you can play with the reflector bits here, so yeah, absolutely fantastic. Next we have smooth bore guns. You can attach them both on the left and the right side of the back thrusters. Also you can manage to place them in the hands, but yeah. They are of course very simple, it is just a sandwich from 2 parts, but in fact the details here are okay. They are of course plain color wise, but after some paint treatment of the details this will be top notch son of a gun. The handle is movable, but as mentioned before, you can't do much with it. You can also use one of the parts from the Chimera form to have them on the big backpack, but stability is dying slowly on the ground here, so nope. We don't have any additional open hands, but still, like I said, base kit is not the main dinner here. If it comes to poses, well, the Typhoeus is very simple in this term. It reminds me more of an entry grade than a high grade, but okay. I like the arm joints. First of all, they look cool and can do some nice articulation tricks. I don't have the OG Rafael, so can't compare them both in any terms, but I assume that the kit itself has the same problems. Overall, the kit is very limited in posing. You can only do a single bend in the elbow. Feet are also very limited, as well as the whole kit in these terms, and this is a shame. When you remove this armor part from the leg section gains a lot of moving range, so it's purely a design problem here. But let's see what I can manage here in terms of posing, even with all the limitations. As you can see, even limited, this kit can do some good things. From a good angle it will look very nicely on photos, but overall it's on the bad side if it comes to articulation, and you will find nothing crazy here. We have double ball joint in the head, but you are limited here. You can rotate the whole arm. Very nice butterfly movement here, I love it. Shoulder armor can move on its own. You can go with the arm as far as that. full swivel in the upper arm, single bend in the elbow, I hate it. Hands are on the ball joint. Tummy section is very limited as well as chest, you can only rotate it. If you put the chest a little up, you will gain a little upcrunch but still nothing good. Skirts are very cool, you can move the front ones, side ones and the small parts on the back skirt. The back skirt itself is fixed. We do not have Jean-Claude Van Damme spread here and overall the hip segment is limited. Also, this aspect limits the Chimera form, but later about it. Swivel in the leg is okay, double bend in the knee, and foot is absolutely a brick. You can bend it, but nothing more here unfortunately. Yeah, you can try to fight with it. Typhoeus is little taller than your regular Gundam and overall the design is very unique, so it presents itself very well among other Gundams. And the color scheme is very eye-catchy. For some as an ugly bug, for others nice looking mecha, depends on personal taste. When fully armed it will gain a lot of on-your-face aesthetics and will outshadow most of the high grades. So let's compare it with some Gunplas. So yeah, it looks nice, but as a standalone kit, nothing fancy or exciting in terms of gimmicks or even posing. But fortunately the main event starts now. So basically you can transform the armor shell into this absolutely fantastic looking flying fortress. Thanks to that you have couple ways of displaying this package and I really love this. And look at it, this is a monster all by itself. Based on the KUTAN 3 from IBO with the Psycho Gundam Mark II sauce, this battleship looks absolutely top notch just by itself. Transformation is very simple and works flawlessly. This is of course parts formation, so you need to change some parts here and there, but the process is very simple and you will find zero problems during the fun time. After transformation you can attach it to the display base and yeah, fantastic. You will find couple spots where you can attach it to the base and manage the position of the fortress. So you can move some parts here and there to add dynamics, open the dragon hands and articulate the whole section. Not much at the first glance, but still you can change the appearance to add some life to the scene you want to display. And when you display all the reflector bits, add some life to the parts that can be attached on wires, this is absolutely fantastic. I'm not the biggest fan of the battleships in model forms, but this thing here simply rocks. I love it. It's my favorite ship transformation to date. Just look at this. And now...
Alright everybody, stand down!
So yeah, my first thought was a Hulkbuster, especially because of the color scheme, and the legendary power loader comes to my mind also if it comes to the aesthetics. This thing is really top notch, period. Presence is out of this world for a high grade set. Of course it's not the first time when we can witness the armor attachments on Gunpla. This one reminds me Avalanche Exia especially. By the way, this is a lovely model kit and my first master grade. I love it to death. So I always loved this kind of attachment armor in mecha world, so yeah. I was sold from the day one of the announcement of this red behemoth. So in terms of design we have exactly the same color scheme. Most of the armor parts are in red with gold accents, black and grey, and with the Typhoeus sitting inside, this thing looks fantastic. Attachment of the armor is very simple. You just add the backpack with the guns, attach this section here, and attach these big leg parts on the knee armor and you are good to go. Best thing is that all parts sits very well here, nothing is loose, and you can articulate this nicely as well. There is only one downside here. As the armor parts are big and heavy, the hip joints can't handle them perfectly. I advise you to use top coat here just after assembly if you wanna do some crazy things with the leg position. They should design this section just a little better to keep in mind the weight. But all other things works absolutely top here. As the construction is flying type, you can't place it on the ground really. By the way, the legs reminds me of Moderoid Lind Barrel Overdrive a lot, and I love it. Overall, we also have very nice details here, and this is a perfect canvas for a custom paint job, and I can't wait to customize this beast. It looks just deadly and overpowered. When you display this with full potential, oh my god! So basically all accessories are attached to the unit itself, but let's check them all with all add-ons. First of all, you have this beautiful set of clear arms for displaying the reflector bits. Thanks to simple yet effective construction, you have multiple ways to mix the arms for display. And speaking of which, you have 10 reflector bits on board that are opened and 10 that are closed, so a lot of these here. Closed ones are sitting nicely in the leg section, and like I mentioned before, you can detach them easily. Thanks to these little adapters, you can play endlessly with this. And of course we have the action base. This action base is really nice, but it would be really cool to have some articulation here to adjust the position on the fly. But it holds the Chimera well and does the job nicely. Now the arms. The articulated Psycho Gundam Mark II fingers are top notch. They are similar to the real grade Zeong fingers, but they are not as much articulated. Still, you can express this behemoth with no problem. I was afraid of this aspect so much. And now the gimmicks. You can detach the forearms and attach this wire to simulate deadly scorpion attack. Unfortunately, I don't have entry grade La Gundam anymore, so I can't show you how it got his ass kicked, but this guy will be our prey. When you detach the forearm, you can display it on the stand. Of course, you can do the same with the second arm. I must say that this looks really nice, but also needs some space to display this glory. If it comes to legs, or should I say dragon heads, you can do the same trick, but this time you will use these parts. These white wires are well known from, for example, Fazverka. They are very flexible, so also you can display this with nice dynamics. And by the way, this reminds me... I mean more than a dragon head. As mentioned before, the legs parts can be opened to transform into these big deadly guns. But I don't like one thing here. These movable parts connectors are very loose. So yeah, top coat. It is not totally bad and it sits in place, but when you move it, you will feel what I'm talking about here. And this thing can do some action, really. Thanks to all the displaying options here, you have something more than a big and unstable brick that I was a little afraid of. Bandai did the job well. Only thing that bothers me here is the hip section of the Typhoeus, as it plays a crucial role here. Because of the weight, you can't do much here without fixing this on your own. It will sit on most of the positions, but you will also get frustrated very often. But after the top coat treatment, it will work perfectly. So now let's go crazy with some poses on this battle tower with all the armaments. Enjoy! And if it comes to the articulation of this monster, you can move these two parts to close the armor, but I must admit that I like to play with this and display them with some expressions. Because why not? So basically we can articulate the arms very nicely. You can rotate the arm fully, shoulder armor parts can move, you have this butterfly move thanks to this part. Very nice move range of this section. Swivel in the upper arm, absolutely top double bend in the elbow. As you can see, you can open this part and can't do much about it. This pack is for accessories of Psycho Gundam Mark II. I mean, probably shield, etc. You can bend this part here for better articulation of the hands, and this is on the ball joint. All fingers are movable, and this 4 got additional articulated section. Articulation of the legs is based on the Typhoeus, so we can do some movement in the hips, but weight balance is off and often they will not sit well in the dynamic position. You can fix this with a top coat. We can do a double bend in the knee section, looks very nice. These parts are articulated and also can add some life to the poses. So well, what I can tell here. This is a monster, big monster, it will easily be a centerpiece of your collection. Just look at it next to perfect grade. Absolutely fantastic. It will also need some space if it comes to display the whole glory of what it can do, but still, oh my god. So let's compare the big fella to other Gunplas. As you can see, the presence of this model kit is out of this world. I love it! With all honesty, even if you don't like the whole metaverse concept or the build series, or you don't like the color scheme, you should check this one. It's unique, big, and will be perfect for some custom work or just repaint. Price is a little high, but looking at the outcome and what you can do with it, I am more than happy. Now we need to wait for the official announcement of the Psycho Gundam Mark II, and I can be 100% sure that it will deliver the quality, judging just by the arms itself. So, happy holidays my friends, and thank you for watching! First time here? Consider subscribing if you dig my work. Leave a comment and have fun with my other videos. So see you soon virtually in my next episode. Ciao!